Hey guys, what's up? Sam Sulek here. I'm just a fucking regular guy in my car, and it's got this hair. It's beautiful. Got this arm workout coming up. Got my gallon jog. I'm gonna take you guys through it, tell you what I think about it, and train a little bit, and let's have some fun, huh? All right, broccoli haired zoomers. 1, 2, 3, zoom.
All right, folks, I'm gonna do Sam Sulek's arm workout, and before I do, I'm gonna get clued in on why and how we are doing what we're doing. So let's hear from none other than the man himself.
Plan for today: arms, triceps, biceps, light squeezing sets, some heavy kind of nasty sets, and then maybe a couple kind of super sets as a combination of anything in between, you know? And this is, this is something I see a little bit too frequently. But if you've been lifting for a while, and you've kind of reached the point of, you're 6 months deep, you're 8 months deep, whatever, you can't really do fluff work because it's not going to give you any results whatsoever.
Yeah, that's dope. It's cool to include a lot of variation. A lot of it's for psychological benefits. Like, you don't want to do the same stuff all the time. There's also only so much heavy pounding work your body can take. And if you do some higher rep work, some lighter work, some more mind-muscle connection work, that can absolutely increase your training volume, get you more hypertrophy without beating the living crap out of your joints. And Sam's absolutely correct about the fact that, like, fluff work, which is work, that you're just very far away from failure, kind of more for the look and the squeeze, is gonna work a little bit, but not a ton. And especially as you get more advanced, like Sam says, you're gonna have to put in the work for real. And so today, I'm saying people have trained hard, but you feel me? I'm about to train 10 times as hard as the person who trained the hardest before me. Right now, too, baby, ain't nobody playing.
For triceps, I've really been liking starting with something light and squeezing, because whenever I move on to heavier sets, my triceps are already nice and warm, and my elbows are as well.
Yeah, I hate this exercise. The bulbs that hold on to it, they're always slipping out of my hands. That means I can't hold on to it and I can't produce as much force. Also, almost everyone's gonna be much stronger with their triceps pushing down than pulling on the side. This is something that I don't really feel a huge connection with my triceps at all. If I come in close and I let my elbows go far back, so I do my push downs this way, I do my skull crushers like this, I do my dips like that, all of a sudden, huge tricep stimulus for me. I guess a really important point here is never ever do exercises that don't feel really good for you just because someone else is doing them. So like if I had to design a tricep program, it'd have almost nothing in common with Sam Sulek's tricep program. It doesn't mean he's wrong. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means that we prefer different kinds of exercises and movement patterns. You can take inspiration from anything you see on the internet and try it a few times. But if it's not fucking for you, it's not moving really well, then you got to explore your own set of exercises. So try to learn from everyone, but in the end, the program you're going to build is the program that's best for you. Got to reduce the weight.
All right, set 3. Just fucking living in Ohio, just a regular guy, you know what I mean? Just trying to get after it, live a fucking hardcore lifestyle. Baseball hat, broccoli hair, fucking jug.
Does Sam Sulek interact with the ladies, Scott? Are there groupies? There must be groupies.
Yeah, just looking for the right girl, someone who's a fucking broette, kind of can fucking jam in the gym. If you've done a couple VAR cycles, it's definitely gonna help your case. A couple pimples on the shoulder never hurt anyone. Ay. Okay, I had a little burn in there. I gotta be honest, got a burn. Pretty cool. Not terrible. All right, let's see what Sam has to say about exercise number 2. All right, cable rope push downs, 2 sets with partials to failure. Let's see what Sam has to say about it.
Literally the same weight that I was just doing single arms, but now for a double arm rope push down. But it's actually, well, at the bottom, it will actually feel like a bit more than that. Because I'm not sure how you, I don't know how far you made it through school, if you know about trigonometry or anything fancy.
Trigger who? Trigger what? I'm done.
Honestly, a rope is kind of cool because it changes the strength curve of the actual movement. Like with a straight bar, you feel like the 100 pounds the whole time, that's it. But with a rope, it actually gets a little bit heavier on your triceps because you pull it sideways at the bottom, which I like.
So that's kind of cool. He's totally right about the physics component, that you're going to feel a lot more tension at the bottom of this movement than at the top. Problem with that is it's been shown numerous times that higher forces at the stretch produce more growth than higher forces at the peak contraction at the extension. This exercise is actually backwards to what science would recommend on average. However, as a variation, especially if you really feel your triceps like that, you connect with it well and it's great for your joints. It's a great exercise. I fucking hate this exercise. I can't stand this exercise. It does fucking dick all for me. And I'd much prefer straight bar pushdowns with my elbows really far back to feel that crazy deep stretch at the bottom, have an easier time at the top, and optimize that way. Not just from a science-based perspective, from formal evidence, which does support doing the exercises that put a lot of tension on the stretch, but from my own personal experience, that shit just works better. Makes me up more, makes me more sore, makes me have bigger triceps. But it sure as shit didn't do anything for my hair, fellas. So maybe I can grow a little bit of natural shit. By the way, this is my natural hair, if anyone asks. You guys have seen my body hair before, how I can grow body hair? I can grow head hair just the same way. Scott was like, hey, can we do Sam Sulek's workout? I was like, yeah, give me 2 days. I grew the shit out, you feel me? I know I'm beautiful, I know. Every fucking day, someone's like, your hair, you're amazing, your face, you're so gorgeous. Yeah, okay, good. Let's do some work. Jesus.
It's kind of hard to do anything overhead for me because like if I grab I can't even grab a dumbbell. I'm so tight now. Like if I grab one like 100-pound dumbbell or something and try to throw it over my head like this, that just does not work for me. But with something like this, very different than what I'm focusing on for those first sets of rope. Because with these first sets, I was really focusing on the squeeze at the bottom. This was the hard part. And this was kind of easy. You know, I was just getting the tension off up here, a good stretch. That's the hard part. Whereas with this, I'm really trying to emphasize that stretch at the bottom and really pull the long head, like kind of where it ties into right here. This whole chunk, I want to feel a lot of activation on. And then, you know, a few sets here, should be sick.
Cool. Yeah, I used to do a ton of overhead extensions. I love them. Seated and standing, easy bar extensions, straight bar extensions. There's old videos of me on YouTube doing that shit. Kind of a lot of weight. And nowadays I barely do it at all. For two reasons. I get lots of long head activation from back work. And two, I've lost a significant amount of mobility as I've aged. And so I can no longer really get back here to do meaningful work. So I'm gonna probably step out a little bit. I like to step away from the rack with this exercise. And so I'll have a good perch on my feet, lean over, and kind of crank these out. 1, 2, 3. Pretend these are testicles. Oh yeah. Yeah. That is an exercise people do. I can't stand this stupid rope. I do get a good burn. I will say that. I get a good burn, but I can distinctly tell I'm activating very few of my fastest twitch motor units because it's just the pulling this way instead of pushing, and the fact that it's the rope that makes it real hard at the top, real easy at the bottom. It just spares a lot of the disruption that I like to see in tricep exercises. But this is an exercise a lot of people really, really like, so definitely give it some thought. If you do it, try to get that deep stretch of that range of motion. It's gonna hook you up really well. Let's see, a little bit of a pump. Yeah, I'll be like Sam Sulek in no time. Younger and more red. And with more hair. Yeah. It's the hair that's gonna do it for me. Wait. Does Sam ever do that? I would. I'd do it all the time.
I need to kind of wait a second and see how my triceps recover in a few minutes. But honestly, I'm already pretty wrecked right now. But a part of me thinks I might need one more set to really finish them off. Yeah.
Okay, back to rope pushdowns.
Yeah.
You know, say two things about this. One is Sam has not thought through this whatsoever. And that would be a mean thing to say and probably not true, but it's funny, maybe. The other thing is sometimes after doing a certain number of sets of several exercises, at the end you realize one of those exercises connected much better. It was just a really good feeling. And if it's nominally easy to set that exercise up again and you feel like, you know, I haven't hit my triceps volume that I wanted for the session, I can use a little bit more stimulus, a little bit more pump, I'm definitely gonna recover. Let me go back and just do another set or 2 or 3 of an exercise through that session that really felt good. And if you're like Sam and you kind of YOLO your sessions, which is you kind of pick exercises sort of on the fly based on feel, it's exactly how you're supposed to be doing it because you never can tell what's gonna feel amazing that day. If you do more formal periodization like we do at RP, you have everything planned out and then it's just plus or minus how many sets you do. But if you're like Sam and you're kind of vibing, then once you catch a good vibe, stick with a good vibe. And so he had a plan to go overhead. That went really well, but then he was like, you know what? I can do a little bit more push down work and I think that's gonna kick it. And I think that's really smart. So let's get the set done like he did and finish the triceps part, and then get in biceps. Man, that's all she wrote.
So I'm thinking 55s, 5 reps one side, all in a row. Sit here and hold it. And since I've got straps, that's not going to completely tax my whole fucking system. 5 on the other, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 is, you know, as many as reasonable.
I will say as many as reasonable literally is no definition at all. I have no idea what the constraints of reason are here, but Sam's gonna do a whole bunch, so I'll do a whole bunch too. I'm not gonna do the 55s, that's for goddamn sure, but I'll do a little bit of something. Let's get to it. You know, I haven't trained arms all by themselves in a while, and having an arm pump, biceps and triceps at the same time, it's just vibey as fuck, man. I like the fact that Sam's using straps, I'm using VersaGrips. They're better than straps in every conceivable way. Give it a shot, link in the description. That way, it's not difficult to hold the dumbbells, but because you're never letting go of a dumbbell, it functions as its own counterweight. If you just dropped a dumbbell and just did this, you kind of like cantilever over, it'd be really weird. So by having one dumbbell in the hand all the time, it works super, super well. This isn't a terrible exercise. The negatives is that the exercise has the highest force production at the top, the lowest at the bottom. So it's actually very suboptimal force curve wise for hypertrophy. You want something like an incline curl, behind the back cable curl, or a lying curl that's gonna get a huge force at the stretch, smaller forces at the contraction. But it doesn't mean it's worthless. It's quite a decent exercise. And by just doing 5 at a time, each time getting pretty close to failure, you really are approaching failure like 3 times in one set, which is really good because you get a ton of work. And so by resting one side while the other works, you really get to crank that total volume, total number of approaches to failure a ton. You get to wave your hair out of your head, all the fun stuff that causes muscle growth. All right, second exercise for biceps is the concentration curl. Let's see how Sam does them.
Honestly, this is pretty much the exact same thing that I was just doing. You know, my hand's staying at this angle, the whole curl. But the twist, the kicker, is that with these, I get to help myself on the last 5. Because I'm gonna reach a point where I can only get it to like right here. And sure, if I kept trying to just do this micro ROM, maybe I'd get a little bit out of it, but I don't think so, you know? So by the time I get to here, I think I've pretty much exhausted my own strength with just this system. But I can still use my other arm, pull that dumbbell all the way to the top, and then let go. And then I'm just wearing my bicep down every time in a good way.
Cool. So this is standard concentration curls followed by eccentric accentuated loading, which basically you help yourself in the concentric and then ride out the eccentric. Real smart, gonna cause a lot of growth. Now, Sam did say that the bottom here is not gonna do much. It's actually gonna do a ton. Lengthened partials are super effective, but that doesn't mean that the full concentric with assistance plus the accentuated eccentric isn't also a fucking baller way to train. This is painful as fuck. Let's get into it. Just a quick tidbit here. One thing you can experiment with is the Menno Henselman style version of this. So you don't hang over yourself like this. You actually come back, which gives you more tension at that lengthened position. Holy shit, that hurts. Fuck you, Sam. Should have lashed out like that, Sam. I'm really sorry. You know, it's just this war and that lion son of a bitch Johnson. If you get that reference, you're old.
I've got a plan. I've got a plan for this one. I'm talking superset and I'm talking drop set.
I think Sam Sulek should be a professional wrestler. What do you guys think? He kind of sounds like Macho Man Randy Savage every now and again. I'm talking superset, brothers. I'm talking drop set. Cocaine. Ah, sorry, that just snuck in there. But it's true.
So 50-pound dumbbell curls, regular alternating, nothing fancy. And the whole purpose of them is really kind of just to burn out. You know, I'm trying to wreck my biceps in a good way. And then once I'm pretty much at about failure and really just like well fatigued, put the weights down, whip the straps off, then grab this 55-pound straight bar and then do some squeezing reps.
Cool. I'm not as strong as Sam, so I'm gonna try to pick some lighter weights, but I will try to accentuate that eccentric control a little bit more. Oh, I gotta be on brand. Wait. Showtime. Oh man, that hits. Triceps, check. Forearms, why not? Check. Biceps, pumped. Sam Sulek, whatever that GIF is that people post. That was fun. Guys, every single workout that you see out there that's going hard, that's giving it a shot, that's not doing Bosu ball wobbly shit, give it a try, especially as a younger lifter, especially as an intermediate lifter. We tried a bunch of stuff. If you can pick up just one exercise from what we've done here from Sam Sulek, put it in your little bag of tricks, use it regularly, it's a huge win. If you pick nothing from here that you like, it's still a huge win because they can say, well, I tried all this stuff, I don't love it. Now you can focus your efforts on what you do love. And if there's a few exercises or even more that you can get from this, major winning. Guys, super fun to try other people's workouts. Probably be doing a little bit more of that in the future. And Sam Sulek's great. Give him a follow. Honestly, his subs aren't that impressive. Wink. He needs all the follows he can get. I've been Dr. Mike. Give me a follow too. Oh, and one last thing before we leave. See you next time.